Hello. It's good to see you. Today we have this fun little Halloween kit, a do-it-yourself, paint your own Halloween woodcraft kit. This is from Aldi, and I picked this up about a week ago. They had several of these little sets like this, and this one looked like it was kind of neat. I like the little house here. What does this set come with? It comes with 6 paint colors, and I think you get 3 of these. Yeah, it says it makes 3, so I guess we get 3 of these little decorative wooden pieces. And it looks like it even comes with 2 paintbrushes, which is nice. Usually these sets only come with 1 paintbrush, but it looks like this one has 2. I have some extra paintbrushes of my own if we decide to use those. I always get those out just in case. And I have some extra paint as well if we decide we don't like these paints or if they don't work. Sometimes you buy these sets and the little paints are all dried up and you can't really resuscitate them. They're just hard as a rock. Sometimes you can add just a little bit of water to them and mix them up and kind of bring them back to life, but they do pass a point of no return where they're just so dried out you can't save them. So let's hope that's not the case. Oh yeah, you can see right here, that must be the 3rd decorative piece. It must be pretty small because you can barely see it. It's just right here, I guess. Maybe it comes out this way a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, you can see the paints there. And it looks like we do have at least 2 paintbrushes in there. Let's see. Oh, it looks like this. Here they are on the back. So we have our little house. And like a petri dish with a bat flying over it. What is this supposed to be? Is this the moon? Or I guess maybe that's like the full moon or something. It just, all I see is a petri dish. I don't know. Yeah, we get 2 paintbrushes. A little candy bucket or little candy corns coming out. It looks like a crazy face with 2 eyeballs and like a beak. It's like a little face in the house. Now you can personalize your own designs. I mean, you can paint these any way you want to. Protect your workspace. Wear a smock and set up newspaper before beginning your project. Paint may stain. Handy hints. Rinse brushes before switching paint colors. Add a bit of white to lighten colors. Clean your brushes with soap and warm water to maintain them for future use. So we get 3 wooden shapes. We see them here, and see these are already painted. But ours are going to come out just plain. When we start, they will not look like that. I'm totally painting this one to look like a petri dish. That's hilarious. 3 shapes, 1 flat paintbrush and 1 pointed paintbrush for fine details, and 6 paint colors. Very nice. I'm not going to put on a smock. I'm not putting down newspaper. I like to live dangerously. On a Tuesday night, I'm going to live dangerously. Okay. Well, I'm going to pop this open. There's a little tab right here. We're going to pop this open, take these things out, and take a look at everything. All right, well, I'm not going to mess with newspaper, but I will at least put down a paper towel. And I have another paper towel over here so that when I wash my brushes, I can just kind of dry them on that. And I have my little cup of water, and this cup is getting more and more gross as time goes on because we use this old cup for cleaning our paint brushes. I'll show you the cup in a minute. So here we have our little trick-or-treat bucket. See, these are just solid blocks of wood. So we have our little trick-or-treat bucket, petri dish with a bat. It's a haunted petri dish. That's my haunted petri dish. Oh, I wish I worked in a lab. That would be so cool. I would totally take that to work. Dang it. I don't even know anybody who works in a lab. Okay. And then we have a haunted house. And you can see these pieces of wood are joined together like that. And it has a little Aldi sticker on the back of the house, but not the other two. Yeah. It's composite, like it's not solid. It's solid enough. It doesn't matter. This little set was only $5. I thought that was a pretty good price. I thought that was pretty reasonable. And in this little plastic bag, we have our two brushes. We have the flat one and the pointed one. And look at our paint. What do we have? We have we have yellow and then a greenish yellow, green, white, black, and pink. No orange? I guess this is our orange over here. It's not very orange, is it? Well, that's all right. I guess we'll live. I do have some other paint. I mean, if we really want to go with something else, we can. Womp, womp, womp. Wee. Okay, stop playing with the paint. So look at this cup. This cup belonged to my kids when they were little, and I asked them if they cared if I used it for these kinds of things. They didn't care. Neither one of them even remembered it. Yum, that's good. And we have Big Bird, Ernie, and Bird. And there used to be, oh, and Cookie Monster. We used to have a little plate that went with it, but I have no idea what happened to the plate. All I have anymore is the cup. All right. What about my brushes, though? Gotta show you my brushes. Look at these. And they have such beautiful handles. Look at all the pretty colors. I really like this green one. It's kind of an angled brush. It's really good for broad strokes, but also detail. These colorful ones were all part of a set of paintbrushes from Crayola that I bought years ago when my kids were really little. And we have used these brushes so many times. But yeah, this green one here is my favorite. This kind of an angled looking brush. I'm going to keep that one out. I don't know that we'll use any of these, but we might. I'm going to go ahead and get out a couple. Like this little purple one is good for fine detail. This orange one is good for large areas. So, yeah, we might use those. Let's start with the trick-or-treat bucket. We already have it out. Maybe I should color in the letters first and then go around it in black. Let's actually go with this yellowish green for the letters, the trick-or-treat. And I think I'm going to try the little, I don't know. Do I want to try the purple one? Gosh, that's going to be very hard to get that detail in there. But we're going to try. I'm going to set this here. See if I can open this up. Oh, that paint looks good. It's not dried out at all. See, look at it. That looks good. Yeah, it's fine. Let's see. I guess it doesn't matter if I overlap a little bit because we're going to do that background in black. So it will cover up whatever I screw up here. Now do not look for professional results because I am not a professional. Just so you know. I'm really not. But that's okay. So we're just going over the little sections to do that. Okay, there's the O. Oh, I'm so excited for Halloween. I can't wait. I love it. I hope we get a lot of trick-or-treaters this year. Oh, I do. It's on a Friday this year, so I'm really hoping we'll get more. And I hope the weather cooperates. There was one year the weather was just terrible. This was what, maybe 3 years ago? It was just awful. Oh, it was rainy and windy and it was just nasty. We hardly got any that year because it was just so nasty out, which I totally didn't blame people for not going out because it was really yucky out that night. But then I had all this candy left over. Like, what the heck am I going to do with all this candy? I ended up giving it away. So, yeah. Okay. We could let that dry a little bit. And while we have this paint going, we could use it to color a couple of things on here, like part of this little candy corn right here. We're going to make it sort of a greenish yellow. And we'll do just the middle sections, like so. How about that? I've heard that a lot of parents don't really do the traditional trick-or-treat stuff anymore. If you're not from the USA, you might not be familiar with trunk or treats, which, I mean, I know a lot of parents like them because it's so easy, but you want my opinion on trunk or treats? It's just not the same as trick-or-treating. It's not. You don't get the trick-or-treating experience. So a trunk or treat, basically, and a lot of churches will do it, a trunk or treat is basically where you go to a parking lot, say at a church or a school or whatever. People will be there with their trunks open, or if they're in a minivan or an SUV or whatever, they'll have the back hatch open and it might be decorated. And you just walk around and they give you candy. They might have a little game that you play, but it is not the same. And I know people say, well, it's safer, but it's just lame. I mean, I don't know. It's not the same at all. It's not trick-or-treating. You're just walking around in a parking lot. It's just not, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, is what I'm saying. And I know people say, well, it's better, but I can't open this one. This one's funky, like it's funky. That's just my opinion for whatever it's worth. I'm just a goober on the internet, but I'm going to try this pale orange here. I don't know, actual trick-or-treating to me is a whole experience, But parents just don't want to be bothered with it, They just want to drive up to a parking lot. And most of the time, the parents don't get out of the car. They just release the children into the parking lot to go up to these people's cars and, demand candy or whatever. And after they go around all the cars, they just get back in their own car and they just drive away and go home. Hell, half the kids don't even have costumes on. I don't know. It just feels very empty. When my kids were little, I took them to one trunk or treat, and it was just, my kids didn't like it. They wanted to go do the real thing. Like they both said, Mom, we want to do real trick-or-treating. I mean, we were gracious and polite, but my kids didn't like it. They wanted to, because they had been trick-or-treating, So they knew what trick-or-treating was like, and they wanted to go do real trick-or-treating. I'm going to do one of these little lollipops in a swirl here. Look at that little thing. So, I mean, I guess guess there are, good things and bad things about it, but I know a lot of people feel like it's just not safe. You can't do it. And I'm not going to get into a whole discussion about that, but I don't know. I didn't get to do really anything for Halloween as a kid. So I was not going to deprive my children of Halloween and trick-or-treating. I wanted them to get to enjoy it. And they were always so excited about their costumes. And we made their costumes most years because they wanted to be things that you couldn't find costumes for. So I would have to make their costume for them, which I didn't care. It was fun. It was a fun little thing that we would do together. And it was just neat trying to come up with creative ways to make their costumes. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Because, when you have kids, you get to see all these things through their eyes. And it's, in a lot of ways, I think it's even better than experiencing these things yourself when you're a kid. It's even more fun when you get to see your kids enjoy it. Oh, it's so great. Okay. There we have the little handle. We've really done a lot with that. See? All right. Let's see. I was trying to give this time to dry a little bit. How about, I don't know. I want some other colors. We have pink. It looks like Pepto-Bismol. It does. It's like Pepto-Bismol pink. It doesn't want to open. There we go. Okay. Let me wash my brushes. I dry them on my paper towel. Let's go with this purple one. All right. What am I going to do? Let's do this lollipop in pink. So, but a lot of people don't take their kids trick-or-treating anymore for a variety of reasons. They just they'll take them to a couple of trunk-or-treats, which usually the trunk-or-treats take place the weekend before Halloween. So a lot of parents are just taking them to that and not doing anything else. They just take them to a couple of trunk-or-treats and call it good. Which, it's their kids. They can do whatever they want. They don't have to do anything if they don't want to. But I don't know. I don't think it's the same. Oh, my kids love trick-or-treating. They look forward to it every year. And I would go with them and I would make sure they would say, trick-or-treat, please and thank you. And I made sure they took their manners with them to every house. It's very important. I tried to teach my children manners and gratitude growing up. What about the sticks for these lollipops? What should we do with that? And we need a color too for the tops of these little candy corns. I guess we should do white if we're sticking with the regular candy corn color. Isn't it? Okay, so it's like if you have regular candy corn, you do have the three colors. I think I did it right. Isn't it orange, yellow, and white? I know this top part is white. Let's do we'll do the sticks for these suckers. We'll do those in white, and then we'll do the tops of the candy corn too. Yeah, there we go. It looks like glue. Oh, I messed up. Oh, Mary. I did mess up a little bit. Looks like I'm painting it with glue. I've got my candy all ready. Got my Halloween costume. I'm all set. I'm ready. Let's do it. I've been ready though. I did go to Costco, what was it, 2 weekends ago to get my candy, the rest of my candy. I got some at Walmart, some at Costco. I have a pretty good variety, I think. Pretty good mix of stuff. And I have non-candy things too if a kid wants something else. Okay. And that. And that. Okay. Now we're going to do this part in black. Oh, it's not really black. It's gray. Look at that. Well, I think we're going to go with it anyway. And we have these big areas to cover, so I think I'm going to use the trusty little green angled brush. Love this brush. If you just glance at it, it looks like an Easter basket with all the colorful stuff. It makes me think of an Easter basket. Ooh, it'll eat up your world. Be careful with that. Okay. Well, it's got nice coverage though, doesn't it? Oh, wow. That's impressive. I'm probably going to go back over that white after it dries because it's very, very faint. I don't think this is bad for $5. You get all this for $5. I mean, shoot. That's not bad. I'm kind of just trying to do the open areas right now. Yeah. Okay. I don't think we're going to have time to do all three of these. That's okay. We'll do what we can. We can at least do two. We're going to do this one and our haunted petri dish. Man, if I still worked in hospital pharmacy, I would totally take my petri dish to work and put it out where everybody could see it. I really miss working in hospital pharmacy. I do. I loved it. I worked in both retail pharmacy and hospital pharmacy in the past. That's how I know all those drug names when we organized the OTC section in Dollar Tree. That's how I know all that. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Don't get too brave with this brush because you're going to mess up. Don't be a hero. Just go as far as you can. We're going to have to do some parts of this with a more detailed brush. This one really is just for the big, broad strokes. Okay. Now let's try some detail. So we have this little brush here. This is one of the brushes that came with the set. So we can take this one, kind of do like that. Just get the little areas there. Be very careful. You're going to mess up your little candy bucket. Okay. Just come through here. Getting between these two words. Trick or treat. No, I didn't really get to do anything for Halloween as a kid. I know I told y'all that story 100 times. If you're new here, you haven't heard it though. Can I give you the Reader's Digest version? Okay. My mom doesn't like holidays of any sort. Anything that requires effort, she's not interested. She never took us trick-or-treating until I was 4 and my brother was 8. And we've been begging to go trick-or-treating. Oh my God, we've been begging. So she said she would take us. And my brother wanted to be Robin Hood because he wanted to be Robin Hood because he had this bow and arrow that he'd been playing with. And he wanted to be like Robin Hood. So my mom made him a little, hat, kind of like Robin Hood's hat. And then I think he just wore some pants and a shirt that he already had. But he had the bow and he had the little hat, so he was Robin Hood. And my mom said that I would have to be Maid Marian to go with, Robin Hood. So I said, whatever, I didn't care. I just wanted to go get some candy. I wanted to go knock on doors and get candy because my brother had told me that that's what happens when you go trick-or-treating. You go to people's houses and you knock on their door and you say trick-or-treat and they give you candy. Plus I had seen the Peanuts Halloween special, the Great Pumpkin. So I kind of knew how it went. I knew what was going to happen. Oh, I was all about it. Like, oh, that sounds great. Yay, let's go. And somewhere I have a picture of my brother and me that my mom took right before we left the house in our costumes. And you could tell by the look on my little face. I was so freaking excited. All I had on was one of my nightgowns, and I had on pants and a shirt under it because it was cold. And she made me this little, some kind of headband thing out of aluminum foil and a wire coat hanger. I don't know. I did not care. I was just so excited. Okay, I think we finished the trick-or-treat bucket. Look at that. That's cute. We're going to set this aside and bring in the haunted petri dish. All right, so we left the house. I was so freaking excited. Oh my God. I could barely contain myself. I was so excited. Yay, trick-or-treating. So we went into town, and we lived in a very small town. Population less than 3,000 people. But we went into town, and we got to this one street. And my mom, she let us out of the car, and we went to a couple of houses. And then we had to get back in the car because she was going to drive us down a little bit. And we went past this one area where these boys were waiting behind some bushes. Now, they didn't target us specifically, but they were throwing eggs at cars driving past. And they threw eggs at our car. And I still, over almost 50 years later, 45 plus years later, I still remember the sound of those eggs hitting the car because I was so confused. I didn't know what the sound was. Like, what is that? And then one of the eggs landed on the windshield. And it was so surreal. Like, what's happening? What is that? What? Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. And my mom knew better than to turn on the windshield wipers because the egg would just smear. So she had to roll down the window to look out to get us over to this car wash, which fortunately wasn't far away. And we didn't, so we got to trick or treat at a few houses, like half of a street. And we were all in the car, and she drove to the car wash, and she got out and put money in the thing and rinsed the windshield off in the car and got all the egg off the car. And she told us to just wait in the car, so we're just sitting there. And she got done, and she got back in the car. And she said, we are never, ever doing that again. And she took us home, and that was it. We never were allowed to participate in any Halloween stuff ever again. We never went trick-or-treating again. We never went to anything We didn't do anything for Halloween ever again, which I think that was kind of an overreaction. But that's what happened. And I hated it, and it really sucked. But we knew better than to ask because we knew that the answer was going to be a very angry no. We knew we were never going to get to go again. That was it. So we just never got to go again. So, but the good thing about being an adult, one of my favorite things about being an adult, is that you can do all these things that maybe you didn't get to do as a kid. Or if they're things that you enjoyed as a kid, you can still do them as an adult. You can, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of fun things. You should think of something that you liked as a kid, but you haven't done it in years. You should do it. Like, did you like to roller skate? You could go roller skating. Oh, I don't remember how. Well, there's no time like the present to go try and see. Maybe you will do better than you think. Or maybe you always wanted to learn to roller skate. I never got to learn. I would love to learn. I don't know. I'm busy. It's not high on my list of priorities, but I always kind of thought it would be cool to learn how to roller skate. I never learned. Well, not well enough to, be decent at it anyway. So, yeah. Nothing is stopping you from enjoying the things that either you didn't get to do as a kid, or maybe you did get to do as a kid and you really enjoyed it. You can still do them as an adult. You can. It's okay. And life is short. And I will say that to the young people. Y'all really don't know. Life is so short. You may be young now. You might be 20 or 18 or 25 or whatever. Honey, listen to me. You're going to turn around twice and you're going to be 50. I kid you not. It goes that fast. The people you look at now and you think they're old, honey, you will be their age in about 5 minutes. And you're going to look back and go, I cannot believe I used to think they were old. Well, I'm their age now. What does that make me? Guess you're old. No. Life is so incredibly short. Get out there and do the things you enjoy. You can make excuses. Oh, I'm busy. Oh, this, oh, that. You're always going to be busy. Life is not going to slow down for you. It's not. You'll spend your whole life going, well, things will calm down after this or that or the other. Things will calm down and I'll do it then. No, because once all that stuff is over, a whole bunch of other stuff crops up. And then you'll be busy with other stuff. And then you'll finish that, and then you'll be busy with other stuff. It never ends. It never ends. Oh my God. You're always going to be busy with something. You have to make time for these things. Make time for the things that matter to you. Because the universe is not going to do it for you. The world is not going to slow down for you. It doesn't slow down for anybody. You're just going to have to make it happen. Schedule it, shoot, put it on your calendar. I don't know. Just do it is what I'm saying. Just get in there and do it. Look at me, I'm painting a haunted petri dish. And darn it, if I can make time for that, you can make time for whatever it is you want to do. I have a Crayola paint here that I think I would rather use on my haunted petri dish. It's a little bit darker. The other one is kind of a pastel. Let's try this one. There we go. I like this one better. It's a little bit darker. I know was supposed to be the moon or whatever, but I'm going to call it my haunted petri dish. Yeah, life is never going to be calm. Whatever's got you running around like you're crazy right now, it'll be something else when you finish that. It's something all the time. I swear, it doesn't get any better when you get older either. I was just talking to my dad today. My dad is 85. He said, Mary, I'm going to give you some advice. I said, what's that? He said, do everything you want to do before you retire. He said, I don't know what happens, but when you retire, you don't have time for anything. He said, I'm busier now than when I worked 40 hours a week. I don't have time to get anything done. Well, part of the problem is he's always working on other people's cars. Or, I mean, he goes and helps people with all kinds of stuff all the time. That's where a lot of his time goes. He's helping everybody in the whole neighborhood, which is nice. He goes and helps people. He doesn't charge them. He just helps them out, you know. But he said, yeah, do everything you want to do before you retire. Because when you retire, you are not going to have any time. He said, I'm busy all the time. I am busy every day. I said, you're supposed to be taking it easy. He said, well, I don't have time to take it easy. I'm too busy. Yeah, even when you retire, you still, I don't know what happens. But I've heard other people say that too, that when you retire, you think you're going to have all this free time, but you fill up the time that you have. You know? Whatever time you have, you're going to occupy it with something or other. Look at my little orange spots. They look so infected. Look. That's some good bacteria right there. Look at it. Well, look how that dried, though. That looks pretty good. Don't drop them on top of each other like that. It's fine. Okay. All right, let's try. We're going to put some of this on the bat there. My little petri dish bat. All right. I need my brush again. I'm doing a terrible job cleaning these brushes. Bob Ross is rolling in his grave right now. Like, God, you can do better than that. You slept through enough episodes of The Joy of Painting to know that. You know how to clean your brushes. You beat the devil out of them. I love that show. Every now and then I still fall asleep to it at night. Okay. So we're coming in on this little bat wing over here. Look at him, the dark night. Flying in, casting a shadow over the haunted petri dish. It's majestic. Look at his little sticky up ears. I'll get him in a minute. I gotta work my courage up to try to get it there. Okay. Look how pretty he is. Look at him. He's so cute. So yes, people, life goes fast. It goes so fast. Don't be afraid to try new stuff. You know, I try to do things all the time that scare me just a little bit. I do. I push myself out of my comfort zone pretty often. And I do it on purpose. And I don't always enjoy it, but I've never regretted it. I feel like I always come out of it a little bit better off. Just to try something that's a little bit scary. Which if you're an introvert loner like I am, it could just be going to a party. That's terrifying. Because I am really kind of a hermit. Because I work all the time. I don't really go anywhere or do anything like social very often. I do some, but not often. I'm actually doing a social thing this weekend. I am. It's going to a Halloween party. I'm terrified. Yeah, I'll get to wear my costume. Let's go over the white part again. Oh, no. Yuck. Let's go over this white part again. I have some vaguely crusty white paint here. Let's just see if we can use a little bit of it. Just to make that stand out a little bit more. Like that. Just, yeah. Did I even get those? I don't know that I did. If I did, it doesn't show. That's better. That's better. Yeah, I do things that scare me a little bit. And what scares me might not scare you, and vice versa. You gotta figure out what works for you, what pushes you out of your comfort zone. Because it is going to be different for everybody. Scare yourself. That could be your Halloween thing. Do a scary thing. Challenge yourself with a scary thing. Oh, shit. Well, it's an abstract now. Okay. Well, there we have it. We have 2 decorations, and I have a third that I will do later on my own, but it's getting kind of late and I have to get moving. But look at this. Look at our fun little things here. I think they look pretty good. Look at that. We have our little trick-or-treat bucket and our petri dish with a bat flying over it. Very nice. And I do still have this one that I can do later. It's really cool. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed getting to see this fun little do-it-yourself Halloween decoration kit today. It's always so much fun to sit down with you and do stuff like this. And thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again really soon.